How you going? So in this video I wanted to go into the PvP content of the game. I've already uploaded some videos on Rites and Battlegrounds, so I'll explain a bit more about how they work, and the next time I go in to Battlegrounds I'll give more detail on the objectives and strategy and stuff like that. In the meantime, the other two modes of PvP are the Vault in Westmarch, which the Shadows raid and the Immortals come to defend once alarms are triggered, and the Battle Arena in Bilfen. So I'm just about to put on my PvP gear. Hopefully I'll get a Vault alarm to be able to demonstrate how that works. So, a couple of the items that I change for PvP. I'd take out my AoE that I use for dungeons and killing mobs. And so I don't need any seven-sided strike abilities. I change them to Shield of Zen. I'll be meeting up with some people in the arena. Just going to a low-powered one, hopefully. There won't be anyone doing the same, so that we can just show the rewards. There is a guaranteed legendary drop. And some minor differences in the arena versus Battlegrounds is, in Battlegrounds, in your mini-map, you will see your opponents and things like that. So an interesting part of the arena is, if they go out of sight, they can jump you without warning, because you can't track them on the mini-map, only your party members. And you can sort of, if you're paying attention and a party member goes down and you see where they are, you got an indication of where your enemy's going to be coming from for you next. And skills. Equip. My monkey magic build. A lot of bleeps. Now excuse me for a moment. The arena is of course in Bilfen on all difficulties. There can be different server instances as well. You can have a friend there, go to turn up, and you've loaded on a different server and you have different opponents, which means a few people can get the rewards. Let's do the event on the way, grab some dust. So of course it is good. The arena is every 3 hours, so on the Australian server that's from midday 369, midnight 369, etc. And unless you're like me and constantly forgetting and finding yourself waiting for Ancient Nightmare thinking, why is nobody here?
My strength is yours.
Might jump into party chat. and hopefully I'll get a vault alarm on the way. Clear that message so if there's an alarm I know it's recent. Now the one thing about vaults for the Immortals, you will get in the Immortal channel a message pop up with a link to head over to the vault to defend, but you'll also get a notice next to your daily activities here. For whatever reason, this link will take you inside the Hall of Ancients next to the vault, so it's obviously much quicker. The link you get in the Immortal channel itself, in the chat channel, will only take you to the entrance, so you have to then go in, which says a load screen. So you'll appear from this waypoint. You then have to go to the hall, go in, another load screen, and once you're in, it's a bit of a hike over to the vault. So for anyone trying to get in, especially if you're wondering how other people are beating you so quick, it's because they're using this link. So always use the link in your notification, not in the chat. And then you can get there quicker. So it's good to have maybe some kind of hybrid, if you're doing some farming, some sort of hybrid PvP, just something where you might be able to quickly change some abilities on your way in case there's, 4 good PvPers in there intentionally triggering the alarm just to have a match. And I'll quickly go through some of the reasons I've chosen this build for PvP. Obviously, killing monsters versus killing players is a lot different. The monsters will always be coming for you. They're quite predictable. You can learn their abilities and patterns, and even when you're getting swarmed in higher rifts and things, it's you're obviously trying to take down multiple targets. Whereas in PvP, even in Battlegrounds with multiple opponents, it can be
Together we will prevail.
very different. So, and as soon as we were playing Battlegrounds, which is only available twice a day at this stage, I think initially it was it was permanent, but because of the number of players in the alpha, if there wasn't enough people queued up, most people just thought the feature was broken. And the day we somehow managed to actually get in for some matches, I'm not sure if the feature was actually disabled, because there was one day we were able to get in, and the next day they had 1 hour time limits, which I think just has everyone queuing up at the same time. So they're already there. So here's an example where I've spawned in a different arena. So I'll travel to them just to show as a party. Yeah, all good. Because I was there so early, I was obviously on a different arena. Lovely job of translating there. Having auto voice memo play on certainly helps when translation goes haywire. I'm coming! Well, we've got a vault alarm. So when you start playing PvP, you'll find that there are certain abilities, certain things that you have the most trouble dealing with. And, well, maybe it's a good reason to try things that, those type of things. So anything that gives you loss of control. Here we've got, so this ability that leaps now with augmentation from my armor and immobilizes enemies. This is my main ability with Gather. Gather has the ability, it appears to sort of dispel skills of your opponents. So it'll dismount Crusaders. It'll, cancel the physical abilities of melee characters or even ranged characters. So if they're using a skill and you catch them just as they're doing it, it basically cancels the effect as it pulls them up. So that'll still be on cooldown, and it'll stun enemies that you land on and that you pull up into the air at the same time. So before I went completely to support, I was using seven-sided strike for AoE, and you could pull up a couple of enemies, land on a few more, they'd be stunned, drop down an AoE. So there are DPS options for Monk as well. I just prefer, at least for now, learning what are these abilities that give me great mobility. And I might add in some damage at some point. But I find I won't go into too much class-specific detail if I can, but they are the most effective options I'm finding. So I've got dash on all my abilities, including my primary. Fast movement is very important in PvP, so on my primary I can bam, teleport, and rather than holding down the attack button and teleporting every third punch, you can simply move around and get it on every... It is the first hit of the combo, so just resetting the combo, and I will micro by tapping my attack rather than holding it, even if I'm right next to an opponent. So we didn't have any competition for this arena. Chest pops open, and it's winner take all, so even if party members die during the battle, they will be spawning outside of the arena and unable to get the reward. Thanks guys, just gonna finish up this video. And of course, after arena, you still have meta events. So this is where I will be traveling to Haunted Carriage. And if I do manage to get a alarm trigger, often it's a good strategy to, if you're not particularly strong, is to actually foreshadow to raid the vault during meta events, knowing that all the people will be elsewhere queuing up. So after an arena, there's still enough time to hit the cart. one thing I'm finding when I was first playing Battlegrounds when it first opened, I was going in obviously as most people probably will with the same abilities that you're using to kill mobs and getting destroyed by people with better abilities, different skills. And at that stage, I hadn't even collected all the different armor abilities. But as soon as I changed one ability for, I was getting loss of control, stunned, and all the rest of it. As soon as I added in Shield of Zen, which can prevent that, I was able to get MVP like literally the very next match. It felt like a completely different game. So before we really understand how PvP works, what's effective against players and not, and every character class has its own set of skills, then it can be very. It could just feel like a completely different game. Let's hit the vault. So, as you'll observe, this will take me straight to the inside of the hall. Hopefully there's nobody camping at this time. Yep, we can go in. I'll have to leave party. Alrighty, I'm not sure if I got that kill, but if you are doing defense, so while we're here, after it's finished, you can walk around for a bit. So this is the vault. You can go to different levels when they travel. What I will show is something that will more than likely need to be changed. What Shadow are able to do, which has been quite amusing, is a good party will gather up and just for laughs they troll by triggering the alarm intentionally and then waiting by the spawn location to slaughter you as you come in. So it would certainly benefit from a location that had like a barrier, the same as spawn points in Battlegrounds, and even potentially a barrier, for example, like around a corner, so you couldn't just camp there at the spawn point, killing people as they come in with ranged attacks. Say, for example, something with, immovable barriers that came around like this, and then a force field here preventing people from entering, and the spawn location behind it. So to use this section of map as an example, if you were to come into the vault through, if this was the vault and you were to come in through here, having terrain here that you couldn't go in, and then at the end a portal, a force field here, so your enemies would, if they were trying to just camp the vault, would have to stand here. They couldn't reach you here with ranged attacks, and a force field here. You could also, if you could see that there was a number of enemies waiting, obviously people can go in individually. You just wait for backup. Once the backup arrives, you can, use your shield abilities and exit, and similar situation to getting out of a spawn point in Battleground. It's been absolutely hilarious. And there's another aspect where you can, communicating with people in the shadows, you can essentially organize little PvP matches if you want, particularly in the alpha. Nobody really cares when you're information's going to get wiped after the test anyway, but it's a good way to have some PvP outside of battleground hours. So yeah, there's a few shadow that like a good PvP match that'll send me a message when they're about to raid the vault on the chance of meeting in there and having a chance to kill each other. Obviously they're not worried about the rewards they would have got if they didn't die, but yeah, it can be helpful. There are daily quests, of course. Now, I got that second kill. So, one immortal quest per day is to be in a vault defense that wins, and another is to actually get the kill shot on an opponent. That could certainly be improved, given the sort of somewhat competitive nature just to get into the vault in the first place. If, for example, members in your party or anyone in the vault scores the kill for that quest, having to do it yourself, as you saw in that instance, we had a couple of people together, but as people learn more about the game, obviously you're better off always going into the vault in a party of 4, and if you're a low level shadow, you're going to get more benefit, and the house is going to get more benefit by taking a stronger players in. So the immortals have their lieutenants and their high-powered members that they'll take into rites and other events. I imagine over time, Shadow, as they get a bit more organised, will have people that sort of do shifts on the vault, and anyone low power with keys that wants to go in with stronger allies to be able to achieve victory, then they can walk them through it and that sort of thing. So there's a fair bit of depth to that. And they are the 4 modes. Again, the Rite of Exile is the mode in which immortals can be overthrown. I'll be doing deeper videos on each faction, probably today, and uploading them at some point, and the dynamics of how they work, how players are currently interpreting them, and what I think is going to play out in the future as well, because it certainly seems like a good feature that could certainly use some improvements in how the mechanics actually work in the game. I'll see you later. Have a good one, and I'll end this video here.